10 Volleyball, powered by American Ethanol. Audrey Flaw, Mike Monaco with you on hand from Rec Hall, and we are 2 days away from Selection Sunday, which means it's time for everyone's favorite acronym, RPI. Minnesota certainly hopes to stamp its case for a top 4 seed this weekend. That would keep that team right in Minneapolis as long as the season continues.
Yeah, a win tonight for Minnesota secures them as a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. The other Big Ten team looking to be in the top 4 is Illinois. They are off tonight, play Purdue tomorrow, and they are having a tremendous season so far. But tonight, the huge motivation for Minnesota, they have not won in State College since 2004, so pride on the line for them tonight.
And they have not lost in the Big Ten. They've got the offense, explosive, balanced. Setter Samantha Seliger-Swenson steers that.
Yeah, when you talk about who owns this Minnesota team, it's Samantha Seliger-Swenson. She's a setter for the Gophers and is quick, creative, and a smart leader on the offense. She has so many powerful hitters to go to. Her offense ranks #1 in the conference. We're going to keep track of her backcourt defense and blocking numbers, as that's going to be a factor tonight for Minnesota as well.
Well, you said it. As far as the series goes at Penn State, Nittany Lions have controlled it. Johnny Parker, a freshman, trying to continue that.
Yeah, Big Ten Freshman of the Week. Parker is coming off of an exceptional weekend. In fact, against Northwestern, she had 11 kills, 0 errors, and hit .579. She is a great student of the game, and this conference has taught her when to change up her shots, when to power it down, and how to exploit the block and weaker defenders on the other side of the net. She's the go-to on the right side, and going to be a ton of fun to watch for Penn State.
Let's get to the starting lineups powered by American Ethanol. Parker is one of those hitters for a 5th-year senior setter, and Brianna Weiskircher, Kendall White, an All-American libero for the Nittany Lions. And on the Minnesota side, we said it, there's so much balance on this offense. They have 5 different players who all have at least 200 kills this season, and that means there's so many options for Samantha Seliger-Swenson.
Yeah, just the numbers for these hitters is incredible. So many weapons, as you said, to go to. It's going to be so much fun watching them do their thing, and Seliger-Swenson running that offense is so crisp and clean.
Nice to have that in a setter for a head coach, and Hugh McCutcheon is in his 7th season at the helm in Minneapolis. Just went into the International Volleyball Hall of Fame a couple weeks ago, was honored after Minnesota's match against Purdue. On the other side of midcourt, Russ Rose in his 40th season, all those wins, more than 1,200 in his illustrious career. They always pack this place. We are thrilled to bring you this one from Rec Hall on the final weekend of the regular season. Minnesota, as we said, #3 in the top 25 polls, #2 in the RPI. Penn State has controlled this series in this gym, and you said it, Minnesota has not won here since 2004. So Minnesota begins in rotation 1 with their senior All-American Samantha Seliger-Swenson serving. Goes short for the ace serve to start the night.
We talk about how important the serve is, and to start off with an ace really does make a statement here. Seliger-Swenson went short, right to Nia Reed. A little miscommunication there between Reed and Parker for the first point.
Senior from Minnetonka now leads the team this season with her 28 aces. Weiskircher sets the outside to Nia Reed, who was unavailable due to a foot injury in the first meeting between these two back in the Big Ten opener 2 months ago. Taylor Leith digs it out of the back. There's Parker on the right side. Kept up by McGraw. Weiskircher to the middle for a kill. Serena Gray, one of the freshman middles for Penn State.
Oh, we saw some great defensive moves already in this early part of the first set. Lots of movement in the backcourt, saving the ball that's going off the court, but a nice quick attack from Penn State scores for them for the first point.
Just got to look at CeCe McGraw. Set up the pass and a block for Penn State.
Well, you're looking at the best blocking team in the conference, and take a look at the speed of the close of the block there from middle to the pin and reaching back to the middle of the court. Nicely done by Penn State's block.
Seliger-Swenson to the left side this time for Stephanie Samity, returning first-team All-American from last year. Bump set from McGraw. Lexi Hart Weiskircher to the middle. Nice job in the back row, but Samity gets the kill for Minnesota.
Well, in that rally, you see how Penn State, if they need or they're in a pickle, they will put the ball to Samantha Seliger-Swenson, force Minnesota to be in a two-person high pin offense, and it makes their job a little bit easier in terms of blocking and defending that ball, but the point goes to Minnesota. They are very good at hitting out-of-system swings.
Lauren Barnes, the DS for Minnesota in the back row. Seliger-Swenson digs it. There's that first contact coming right at her again, like you said, Audrey. Penn State work in the middle early on.
Oh, look at Parker here, just laying that ball so deep in that right back corner. Swenson with a great dig, but an easy roll shot transition attack then from Penn State, scores beautifully.
And a fast start for Serena Gray as well, who hails from the Los Angeles area. A couple kills on 3 swings. Minnesota says we can set the middle as well with Taylor Morgan.
Well, hard to defend that when you're one-on-one. Taylor Morgan, take a look at what she can do. Up quick, and what a cut shot. I don't know how you can defend that in the back court. Such a tough, fast, aggressive swing by Morgan.
And what did Russ Rose tell his team today at practice? Morgan has loads of hang time in the middle.
Number 10, Sandy on point, Minnesota, 4, serving 3.
Reagan Pittman is Morgan's cohort in the middle. McGraw serves short. Parker is blocked.
Well, the one thing I like about Parker, even though she got blocked here, you know, she is a resilient kid. That is picture perfect there by Minnesota, but she's a resilient kid, real tough-minded, and I think she's gonna rebound and, yeah, there you go, there you see it. What I think she does really well is when she's hitting different things other than just a high back set. We'll take a look at how she hits the 2-ball here. She passes, and then she finds herself one-on-one. So for a shorter kid, a much better option for her to swing those types of hits.
Freshman from the Dayton, Ohio area. She has really picked it up her last 5 matches, hitting above 400. Weiskircher's bump set all the way to the outside. Samity for the kill. Second one for Stephanie Samity, the sophomore from Florida. Samity had 17 kills and a career-high 21 digs her last time out. And the win that got a little bit hairy against Ohio State on Saturday. Rollins tip try. It's another true freshman on this court. And Donna Rollins. And Parker couldn't get it all the way over.
Well, Parker does want to mix in some tips and rolls, especially, you know, when Samantha Seliger-Swenson is in the front court. Force her to play that ball, but obviously if she could get that one back, she'd like it to go over the net. So Johnny Parker a little rusty here in the first part of this first set.
On the other side, Taylor Leaf, her tip is down for Penn State.
We'll take a look at this great set, pushed all the way to the outside. Not much that Leaf could do with that ball. You saw her hand was actually under the ball, so as a defense, you have got to just bust out of your deep defensive position and run and grab that ball.
Point goes to Penn State. How about that jump serve from Johnny Parker? She set all sorts of serving records back in her home state of Ohio. Here it is. Back row attack from Samity.
And that's what Samity brings to the court in a pickle situation. Take a look at Seliger-Swenson setting her, and then great off-speed shot there, well disguised by Samity.
Fast start for Samity, who, along with the Donna Rollins, had a very good performance in that first meeting between these two. September 19th up at the PAV in Minneapolis. Seliger Swenson goes right back to Lexi Hart. Leith and Hampton collided. Parker rips one at Samity. Free ball on the way. Weiskircher to the middle. And the swing is long from Caitlin Horde, another of the freshman middles for Penn State.
Minnesota's defense so scrappy, keeping the ball alive and not making very many errors. Even if they can't get a swing, they free ball it and they block and dig for a point. That time, an error for Penn State gives Minnesota their 9th point.
On the overdig from Rollins. Leith. Seliger Swenson to Hart for the kill. And Minnesota up by 4.
You gotta love Stephanie Samity digging that line shot. Wow, what a great defensive move from her. A tough shot, fast. She's in perfect position, reading around the shadow of the block, and it transitions over to a big kill for Minnesota.
Weiskircher's dump handled by Hart. Another free ball. Parker. And Penn State capitalize. To the middle for Horde. And a kill. Caitlin Horde starts to get involved for Penn State.
Well, let's take a look at this kill. Big shot out of the middle.
Caitlin Horde is number 4 in the conference in hitting percentage, 6th in blocks per set. One of the very best freshmen in this conference. Seliger Swenson with the dunk.
Well, as a setter, you want a high point of contact, and if you're dumping the ball, you want to disguise it as long as possible. You can see up until that last second, you thought she was going to dish the ball out, and at the last second, gets her palm, the hand on the side of the ball, and really is aggressive on that attack.
We watched her in practice this morning here at Rec Hall, and you raved about the technique she has, especially on the dump, and that keyword, like you said, disguising it very well. Point for Penn State.
Well, a beautiful first set so far. Action going back and forth, great defensive plays. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of both teams here in the early part of this first set.
Kendall White serves. Nia Reed tees off at CC McGraw. First kill for Nia Reed, who again was unavailable in that first meeting.
Yeah, it makes a big difference when this kid's on the floor, but what I like, thumb down, hard cross-court shot. We'll see if CC McGraw adjusts her position at all. She was a little bit toward the middle of the court. The block had that ball. She should be outside the shadow of the block.
Really good pass from Rollins, set up a swing eventually from Hart. Back row, Samity. Parker tracks it down. Off the free ball. To the middle for Morgan for the kill.
Taylor Morgan showing her incredible athleticism. You know, she used to just be a kid that was a great athlete. Now she's a kid that is a great volleyball player and a tremendous middle attacker for the Gophers.
In addition to being still such a great athlete, even after 4 different knee surgeries throughout her career. She's getting all situated with Minnesota up by 3. McGraw's bump set. And Hart into the waiting arms of Serena Gray and company.
Well, in order to be a good out-of-system hitter, you have to be patient. The ball is typically pretty high. You've got to delay, and then go in fast. That time you saw how she was kind of slower on her approach, and as a result, a little tentative on the swing.
Service error from Penn State. First one for either side. Russ Rose and his team at home for the final weekend of the regular season. Minnesota tonight. All you got to do with tomorrow is Dana Recchi in Wisconsin as well.
Penn State. Jenna Hampton's in the serve, replacing Nia Reed. Hampton serving at 11, serving 13.
So Penn State within 2, following the service error. Now Jenna Hampton, the freshman from Tampa, behind the line. Morgan. Parker comes forward for the kill, and Kendall White's fired up.
Gotta like when Kendall White's fired up. Doesn't take a lot to fire her up either, but Parker, wow, she sees that she's got some line here and just rips it, catching Cece McGraw by surprise there as she was digging the line, but ball just too quick coming at her.
Second kill for Parker after a couple early errors. She gets a tip. It's kept up by McGraw. Rollins, dug by Hampton. Now Lee tools the block.
Well, this is exceptional volleyball that we're seeing. The digs are incredible. The angles that the hitters are hitting are so sharp. So wonderful display of Big Ten volleyball right now for all our viewers.
And how about this crowd rocking already in set one here at Rec Hall. Hampton leads this team in ace serves. Rollins went down the line, White saves it. Morgan. White's bump set to Parker. Kept up by Barnes in the back. Seliger Swenson to Samity. Point Penn State.
Well, defense is an attitude. Both teams displaying fantastic defense. Look at Kendall White tracking that ball down, bump setting it. And then the swing out of bounds. So you've got to be patient. It seems like the rallies are going to be extended here by good defensive play. So as a swing, you've got to just be patient, wait for your shot.
Samity got the touch that time for the point for Minnesota. McGraw serves. Weiskircher to the middle. Samity. Minnesota and Penn State duking it out in State College. Gophers by 1.
Season, it takes a lot to go undefeated in this conference, so they should be proud of their efforts, and they're playing spectacular volleyball again tonight.
18-0, trying to continue that here tonight in State College. And Penn State's attack error has Minnesota up by 2. It's a quest for perfection for this Golden Gophers team, but it leads to Penn State, who, if you joined us late, has had the edge here in State College against Minnesota. Weiskircher on the back set. Nicely done by Johnny Parker for her 3rd kill.
Parker, we're seeing a bunch of different shots from her. This one a little sharper cross court, taking a big swing at the ball, nice approach. Again, that goes right past that 3-meter line. Real perimeter type shot, so nice job by Parker.
Good pass from Barnes, and now Samity. Kept up by Hampton. McGraw with one arm. Weiskircher back to Parker. On the overpass, Parker puts it away.
Well, Parker's heating up. That's her 4th kill so far. Started off the first set with a couple bad errors, tips into the net, but look at how she just takes control of that overpass. Celebrates big.
Well, and we said since the second time that Penn State played Nebraska, that was that loss in 5 sets out in Lincoln. All Johnny Parker's done in her last 5 matches, she's hit .415 coming into today, 64 kills and only 8 hitting errors.
Yeah, this conference will teach you a lot if you're open to learning, and that is what she is. She is a student of the game, willing to change her game a little bit in order to be successful. So in this conference, you can't just power it down if you're a 6-foot hitter. So she has learned to be crafty and to manipulate her shots so that she's putting extra pressure on the defense, and she's patient, and boy, she's having a great second half of the Big Ten season.
Part of what was the #1 recruiting class in the country for Penn State. coverage off the Minnesota block, and now Leaf the second time didn't get the touch. A hitting error for now. Leaf looking to the sideline.
Yeah, no touch on that one. When you get blocked the first time, you need to transition off the net as deep as you can, and you really have to go for it. And she was going for that perimeter shot, just went long.
Sammy, service error, the second one for Minnesota, which traditionally this season has been so low error Gabby Blossom, another one of those freshmen for Penn State from St. Louis, checks in to serve. Reagan Pittman on the slide. Leap. And the point to Minnesota right at the net.
Well, when you're playing a team like Minnesota, you know, you've got to play clean. You can't make a lot of errors, silly errors. You've got to make sure that your set is inside the antenna. So right now, Penn State giving a couple bad points to Minnesota.
They have 7 attack errors as McGraw digs the swing from Caitlin Horde. Back to Horde. Pittman on the slide. And Reagan Pittman, for as much as we talk about Johnny Parker really heating up, that's what Reagan Pittman has done for Minnesota.
Absolutely, she hits a slide so well, and right now she's hitting everything cross court. You can see Penn State's defense is there. They're just a little shallow. She's hitting a bit deep, so we'll see if there's any adjustment made to Penn State's defense on Pittman's slide.
Russ Rose takes a timeout with Minnesota, the first to 20 in State College. About Minnesota's very sturdy case for one of those top 4 seeds, which could have them hosting all the way toward the Final Four. It's because of all these top 10 wins.
Well, you know, this just tells you how strong the conference is, and then how good Minnesota is to be undefeated so far. You're playing the 4th best team in the nation, the 5th, the 3rd, night in and night out. So kudos to Minnesota for preparing well every single weekend to beat competition like that.
Those rankings at the time of those matches for Hugh McCutcheon's team, which has only lost 7 sets in the entirety of the Big Ten season, but 4 of those lost sets have come this month. Caitlin Horde on the slide for Penn State.
Horde running a nice slide. When the pass goes to Weiskircher, she can do a variety of things. You know, she's somewhat underrated as a setter. I think she's super great when she is able to be in system. It's that ball control for Penn State that has kind of wavered every once in a while. And they got to play defense too. One-on-one, boy, Minnesota will score.
Rollins kept Minnesota in system and Hart put it away.
I'll take a look at the elevation there by number 19, Alexis Hart. One-on-one, hard cross-court shot, and over Weiskircher.
As Hugh McCutcheon says, she hits hard and she jumps high.
Yeah.
That about sums it up for Lexi Hart, a former All-American. Service error gives the point to Penn State, which is back within 2. Kendall White serves. Good pass from Rollins. Samity out of the back row. 6 kills in set 1 for Stephanie Samity.
Well, Samity is taking big swings, taking off from the backcourt. And look at where she lands, way inside the court. What an aggressive arm, All-American arm. What a pleasure it is to watch her play.
She had 14 kills the first time these teams met back in September 2 months ago. And 6 kills, 1 error, 15 swings so far for the sophomore. Nia Reed. Weiskircher back to Parker. Bumped out to Hart for the kill.
Well, one of the subtleties of the game is how you defend. The tip came over, and the middle blocker for Minnesota landed on the block and played that ball up because the backcourt defense was deep. So great team defense being displayed right now by the Gophers.
Well, Russ Rose takes the timeout. Minnesota up 23-19 here in set one. Our State Farm State of Success tonight centers around Hugh McCutcheon until he's in his 7th season as the head coach at Minnesota. And the top line on his illustrious coaching resume is recent, just into the International Volleyball Hall of Fame a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, what a great honor for him. An illustrious career with USA Volleyball, earning 2 medals, one with the men's team, one with the women's team. And you know, this program is so lucky to have him. He is one of the best recruiters in the nation because of his resume. Fantastic man. Pleasure to talk to before the match as well.
You know, he was telling us that his initial plan was to go to the induction ceremony in Holyoke, Massachusetts, but instead woke up in the middle of the night one night and said, you know, it's not about me. And that's what it would have been had he missed the Purdue match at the PAF.
Yeah, an unselfish guy, but he knows, you know, what his team needs, and that this program has worked so hard to get to where they are today. And so he did not want to risk it by not being there. An unselfish human being, a fantastic coach, and again, Minnesota so lucky to have him.
So Hugh McCutcheon, his team with the 4-point lead. Penn State, the hitting percentage right now at 104. And for the season, you see in the mid-250s.
Yeah, right now, Minnesota's backcourt defense is really frustrating Penn State's hitters, forcing them to take a couple swings at the ball before getting a point.
So after Russ Rose used his second timeout, they do get a Minnesota service error. Now Brianna Weiskircher. Samity. And it brings up set point for Minnesota.
Samity displaying the advantage you have when you jump high and contact the ball high. An off-speed shot that just touches the blocker's fingertips. So not a powerful hit at all, but beautifully placed, gets a touch and gets a point.
Lauren Barnes on set point for Minnesota. Parker. Bump set from Seliger Swenson out to Rollins. Weiskircher kept it up off the down ball. Morgan from the middle. Samity finishes off set one. Her 8th kill of the set to start the night.
Seliger Swenson setting her perfectly, giving her the opportunity to score. She was one-on-one. Samity's going to score all night long if she's only got one blocker in front of her.
She's had 17 swings so far, and she's got those 8 kills, hitting above 400. Number 3 Minnesota up after set one. After set one, Stephanie Samity has half the kills for Minnesota.
Yeah, 8 kills, hitting .412. Telling you what, she is on fire, and if she continues to play this way, boy, Minnesota is going to make a quick night of it tonight. But the other thing that's impressive with Stephanie Samity, 4 digs at 6'2". She's got nice range on defense, but she's putting herself in great position to keep the ball alive. Disciplined defense, staying outside of the shadow of the block, giving herself the opportunity to make some great plays for her team in the backcourt as well.
So Minnesota takes set one 25-20. And now Nia Reed and the Nittany Lions try to respond here in Rec Hall. Minnesota 18-0 so far in the Big Ten. They've already locked up the Big Ten title. Trying to stamp their case for a top 4 seed on this final weekend of the regular season. Good start to set 2 with Taylor Morgan.
Well, Morgan finding herself along the net, open, able to swing back to position 1, but that perfect pass by Adana Rollins in the backcourt. Impressive ball control. First contact for Minnesota looking really good.
Yeah, there have been so many teams this year that have gone after Adana Rollins in the serve receive, as Lauren Barnes has the service error.
Yeah, if there's one aspect of Minnesota's game that's not great right now, it's their service errors, and they're not good errors. When you err into the middle of the net, not a great error. If you're trying to push a passer to the sideline, push him deep, and you make an error, understandable. But bottom of the net, unacceptable.
You see 5 of them so far for Minnesota, and that's against just one ace serve. Kept up by Hampton, but it lands out, and the point to Minnesota. And now CeCe McGraw. Weiskircher to Parker with a line shot right at McGraw, and Rollins ran out of room.
Parker has found success hitting that line shot. Again, CeCe is on the line. Ball is coming right to her lap, but the force behind Parker's swing is really wreaking havoc on CeCe McGraw right now. She's not able to control the dig once it hits her arms.
Parker's had the most swings of anyone on the floor so far tonight. Diving play by Hampton out of the back row with one arm. Weiskircher got it to Taylor Leith, and Caitlin Horde in the front.
Well, Weiskircher's foot speed is so impressive. Coming from the back court, a tight set, all she does is palms it, holds it up there, does the best that she can, and that's what being aggressive and being fast will do. So hats off to Weiskircher to save that point.
And the 4th kill for Horde on 8 swings. Weiskircher, back set to Parker. And a kill for Johnny Parker. That's 6 of them.
An impressive set by number 21, Weiskircher. Take a look at the jump set. Way in left front area, delivering it perfectly to that right front pin.
Weiskircher, the 5th-year senior from Rockford, Illinois, just west of Chicago. She sets the middle to Horde, who's blocked by Pittman.
Pittman read that perfectly. You're gonna see how Pittman shuffles, and then that 6'5" body of hers, she reaches over perfectly, seals that net.
Samity serves. Pass from Hampton, and now Parker, another swing and a kill off the arms of Reagan Pittman.
Well, and that's where, as a blocker, you want to land and find the ball. If your defense is playing deep, take a look at where the defense is. That ball goes high. Communication is important. One of the blockers needs to land, find the ball, and play it high.
Service error on that big jump serve from Johnny Parker.
Minnesota, number 19, Alexis Smart, back in court, Gophers. Number 20, Rollins, back to serve for fun.
Penn State by 1 early in set 2. Weiskircher to the dump.
Oh, and a pass goes right to the net as a setter. There's so many options. When you're front court, you disguise. You see that defense is playing perimeter, middle of the court susceptible, but you got to disguise it and you got to be quick with the wrist, just like Weiskircher was on that play.
Seliger Swenson, and it's blocked.
Weiskircher feeling good tonight after the dump. Gets a huge block. Take a look at how she seals it. They're taking cross court away. Big celebration afterwards.
Johnny Parker loves to see that. You know, Weiskircher against Stanford earlier this year, she had 7 blocks, a career high against the Cardinal, the current number 2 team in the country.
Yeah, if as a setter you can slow down the left side on the other side of the net, boy, you just kind of, your stock goes up. You know, she does a great job of distributing the ball, but we often don't mention how important the blocking game is and backcourt defense for a setter. So there's so much more than just dishing it out and running the offense.
Caitlin Horde out of the middle, off that dish from Weiskircher.
Penn State. Kendall White, serving 8, serving 5.
A perfect pass here, a little push A, so not directly in front of Weiskircher, but pushed along the net a little bit, offers some angles to swing into.
Seen some big matches from Caitlin Horde this season as well, and she's got 5 kills so far on 10 swings. How about Kendall White? Minnesota gets the point despite the best efforts of Penn State's libero.
You know, I love Kendall White. If there is a player I would love to have played with, it is this kid right here. She is fearless and gutsy, and then when they don't win the point, boy, she is angry about it. So, but at the same time, calm herself down because she's one of the big factors here on serve receive for her team.
No Penn State player has had more digs through their junior season than Kendall White with the job that she has done so far this evening. And the signal here has the point to Minnesota.
Point Minnesota.
Our R1 and R2 getting things sorted out.
7, serving 8.
There's a net violation here on Penn State. You can see as the block was coming down, I think it was Weiskircher that touched the net.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. So Penn State up by 1. Nia Reed. And this time the call goes against Minnesota and the point back to Penn State.
You know, we're seeing just how athletic these setters are. Even though Samantha Seliger-Swenson was under the net on this play, you can see how her foot crosses the center line, but just her ability to get there fast, try to stay out of the net. She did one thing great. She stayed out of the net and just, you know, happened to go under the net. But we're seeing great athleticism by both setters on both sides of the net.
She goes with the back set to Lexi Hart. Kendall White tracks it down. Free ball from Taylor Lee. White's bump set. Parker puts it away. It's a BTN stand down presented by Auto Owners Insurance.
Oh, this is what a great bro will do. Lays out, foot speed, and then celebrates a little ponytail rotation there. She is fierce and flashy. I love Kendall White.
Parker tried to cut it along the net and just missed the mark. And the Penn State faithful thought it was down.
Replacing Alexis Harper, serving 10.
And Russ Rose now consults with Kendall White and will not show the green card.
Yeah, Kendall said, Coach, it was out. So let's take a look.
That's close,
Yeah.
at least off that view. Boy, that is very close along the line. Penn State atones for it anyway and is up by 3.
Penn State, number 13, Jenna Hampton's in the serving 11, serving.
Reed checks out after her second kill. Jenna Hampton has really picked up her aces and limited her service errors recently. Bray blocks Rollins.
Well, right from the get-go, the pass was not good. Limited Samantha Seliger's options. A roll shot into the block, so all around, not a great option there for the Gophers.
Penn State doing it with defense in set 2. They're top 5 in the country in blocks per set. They've been excellent with digs per set as well, and second in the conference, like you said, opponent hitting percentage.
Right, the effort on defense tonight is undeniable, and what I like is that the block and the backcourt defense, they're working together. They're in sync, they're in rhythm. The backcourt defense is having a really easy time because the block is there early and they go up straight up and over, which gives some predictable angles to dig around.
Kendall White's 9th dig so far. Parker. And the point to Penn State. Block out of bounds for Minnesota.
Parker's 9th kill of the night, so she's starting to heat up on 22 swings.
As we told you earlier, the reigning Big Ten Freshman of the Week. Service error from Jenna Hampton. You know, her last 3 matches, she had 5 aces and only 1 service error, and that was after a stretch where she'd had 10 service errors in 4 matches before that. McGraw goes down the line. Hampton got it to Weiskircher, and then Serena Gray gets the point for Penn State.
Well, it's always nice as a setter when you've got multiple players to go to. Serena Gray running that slide on a really difficult serve coming across the net from Minnesota, handled nicely by Hampton, and creating opportunities for Weiskircher to set anybody she wants, and she runs that slide.
Good serve from Gray. Parker, cut shot again for kill number 10.
Lots of action in the right front area. Johnny Parker really being very intentional with where she puts that ball. She wanted the right front player from Minnesota to play that ball, so mixing the ball around and trying to make the drop-off blocker play on defense.
Point to Minnesota off the block. You know, we saw Johnny Parker about, what, 3 weeks ago, and she's made so much growth as you have a look here at the block. Rollins into the block. Johnny Parker side by side with Caitlin Hoard.
Well, Caitlin Hoard is an amazing athlete. What a big reach she has, and they're hip to hip, reaching right back to the middle of the court. A lot of beautiful things to celebrate right now as Penn State is up by 6.
And it prompts Hugh McCutcheon to take that second timeout. Penn State is up by 6 here in State College in set 2. She had a couple attack errors early on, and Penn State as a team had 7 hitting errors in set 1. They've only had 2 so far in set 2. Gabby Blossom serves with Penn State up by 6. Reagan Pittman on the slide. Weiskircher to the middle. Allison Cathy, another one of the freshmen for Penn State, but Minnesota's got the point. Here's the hitting percentage in these first couple sets so far for Penn State.
Yeah, that's obviously a huge improvement, but why is that possible? Passing is better, players playing with a little bit more confidence. Setter's doing a good job, Weiskircher, of distributing the ball to different players. So, you know, Parker's coming alive, but take a look at that nice slide attack. So lots of options are available to Weiskircher when that ball gets passed up past the 10-foot line.
Sixth kill for Caitlin Hoard on 12 swings. Both teams sitting in the low 200s so far for the match. That's in. Big swing from Lexi Hart.
Hart is just a force to be reckoned with. Huge outside attack, hits perimeter, hits well above the block. So when she gets her approach and when she's in rhythm, boy, she is a tough one to stop.
A couple weeks back, she reached 1,000 career kills. First Minnesota junior to do that since Dolly Santana 4 years ago, a former Big Ten Player of the Year, of course. There's Hart again.
Well, what makes Hart have that split in the block is the speed that the set is getting to the pin and the placement of the set. You can see that gap between the middle blocker and the right side blocker for Penn State. Alexis Hart has great vision, ball is perfectly placed and allows her to hit that seam.
So that speed, is that both the passing and just the work of Samantha Seliger-Swenson?
Well, I think Samantha's hands are so fast that she can take it and she just pushes it so hard. You have to have strong forearms, really good touch on the ball in order to speed up the tempo of the set. So she's got great control of the ball.
Another service error from Reagan Pittman and a half dozen total for Minnesota in the match. Bump set from Blossom. Free ball from Reed. Seliger-Swenson to the dump. Wow.
Yeah, she takes it with her right hand. Take a look at this. Right hand just places it in that left front area of the court. Little touch on the ball. Again, she sees that the defense was giving her that opportunity to score, and she exploits Penn State's defense.
Hugh McCutcheon talks about how special she is with the creativity that she operates with. Penn State's got the point, back up by 5.
Well, it appears to me that Penn State is winning a lot of points based on the drop-off blockers' lack of ability to get the ball. That was just a ball that hit off the blocker's hands. It should have been an easy ball to dig, but you've got to be able to go from your defensive position, push off, and get those balls that go off the blocker's hands. You've got to make a move for it very aggressively and quickly.
Rollins in the back row kept it up. So does Seliger-Swenson. Weiskircher back to Parker. There's McGraw diving in on the tip in. Point to Penn State on the double contact.
Boy, Russ Rose has got to be pleased with what his team is doing right now. They are looking fantastic. Patience is the key sometimes, and you can see the double contact here on Minnesota's side of the net results in a point to Penn State. So good patience, good aggressive playing on the Nittany Lions side of the net.
Weiskircher sets Parker. Seliger-Swenson back to Samity. She had those 8 kills in the first set, hasn't had any in set 2. Nia Reed has Penn State up by 7.
I love the swing by Reed, but I love the set by Weiskircher too. Great tempo, and then whammo, big swing right to the middle back area of Minnesota's court.
Taylor Morgan from the middle with her 4th kill.
You know, these sets to Taylor Morgan in the middle, they're almost like 2 balls. You know, they're high above the net because she elevates so high. So it is a very, very much of a first tempo attack, but really, she gets so high. You've got to set it so high for her. It's so impressive.
Off the antenna from Nia Reed.
Reed was really trying to get that line, and the ball was pushed a little bit too far. Not a lot of angle for her to hit into, not a lot of line for her to hit into, so she hits the antenna.
Good pass from Leith to Weiskircher, who goes right back to Nia Reed.
Reed seems to be having a lot of fun. She takes this ball with a ton of velocity, sends it to the middle back area of the court. So came at the Gophers pretty quickly, but in somewhat of a predictable spot. So the backcourt for the Golden Gophers not able to control that bomb that Nia Reed sends over.
Reed, of course, the 5th-year senior from New Jersey who waited her turn behind a couple of star hitters. Penn State insists that that was off the foot and kept up. Green card from Russ Rose.
Well, let's take a look at if this ball hits the foot, yes, of Parker. It looks like it hits the top of her foot. From what I can see there, a little blurry.
Real time, we are fortunate to have a great angle. I thought for sure off the left foot. That's close though.
Right, so it's just a question of whether part of the ball hit her foot and the rest of the ball hit the floor, but
well, the entirety of the Penn State team had the immediate reaction, and Russ Rose popped right out of his seat.
yeah, it looks to me like part of the ball hit the court and part on her foot. So, you know, a tough one. I think Parker felt it hit her foot. We will see what the referee sees. Yeah, in real time, I thought it was up. But when you see it now, I kind of think it hit the court before it hit her foot, or at the same time that it hit her foot. But we'll see. I mean, the referee always seems to
The initial call said that it was Minnesota's point.
Right.
And that it was down right by that foot of Johnny Parker. So Jim Werner just came over and just said that the ball was up off the foot of Johnny Parker, so they will replay the point.
All right, well, our initial thought in real time, we were right. Sometimes the replay, as slow as it goes, maybe kind of morphs the ball to look like it didn't hit the floor, or makes it look a little different. So
you credit the green card usage there by
That's
Penn
right,
State,
yes.
and the reaction from all the players. Samity this time has it down for Minnesota, and that's her first kill of set 2.
So these hitters are so smart. They lay bombs over the net and then find the right time to change it up. The defense is going to be back on their heels, deep, waiting for another big aggressive swing. And when you mix in a tip, boy, it really sets that defense off balance.
Good pass from Hampton to Weiskircher. McGraw's bump set to Rollins results in a kill.
It's been fun watching Adana Rollins play. Just a freshman, 6th rotation kid, a lot of responsibilities on her shoulders for this Minnesota team, but plays like a veteran. She is just unshakable out there. I love her ball control as much as I like her swinging from the outside.
And Russ Rose does not like what he sees, so he takes his first time out of set 2. And tomorrow, a huge day of football on Fox and BTN kicks off. Michigan, Ohio State, that showdown for the East Division title. Then Illinois battles Northwestern for the Land of Lincoln Trophy. And Michigan State hosts Rutgers all tomorrow on Fox and BTN. And of course, watch anywhere, streaming on the Fox Sports app. So a top 10 matchup between Michigan and Ohio State. Speaking of the top 10 on the volleyball side of things, not the RPI, but still the coaches poll. BYU at the top, but they have that blemish now. Stanford number 2, Minnesota, Illinois right there. You'd figure that they're in very good shape to be top 4 teams as well. This Wisconsin team picked up a win earlier today in New Jersey against Rutgers. They are on the way to Penn State. They will be here in Rec Hall tomorrow night on BTN as well against these Nittany Lions. So 22-18 Penn State in set 2 after Minnesota took the first set. Here's our match summary. So many of those attack errors for Penn State came in set 1, and both teams have seen that hitting percentage tick up.
Yeah, I really feel like Penn State has elevated their level of play. Parker's on fire, and you know what's impressive is their backcourt defense. So this is a great competitive Big Ten volleyball match that we're seeing, and this is what makes the conference so great. You don't see this level of play everywhere.
How about the level of play from Johnny Parker right now?
Yeah, and I think what Penn State has decided to do with her is move her around. She's so mobile and quick, has great feet. So if the ball is passed up to the net, Weiskircher is able to do different things with Parker, and I think that puts a lot of pressure on Minnesota's block.
Serena Gray serves. Pittman from the middle. Weiskircher with one hand to Hoare. Someone had to step in and take it. Rollins down.
Rollins with a kill, point Minnesota. 19 for the Gophers, 23 for the Nittany Lions, 70 to 0.
So Minnesota within 4 late in set 2. Gophers have been resilient this season, especially this month when they've been tested more and more. Line shot from Allison Cathy, the freshman, is off the mark.
That goes off the antenna, so point to Minnesota. So again, just a couple silly errors by Penn State, allowing Minnesota back into this one. We saw a roll shot by Rollins for Minnesota that scores. And now out of rotation.
Russ Rose steps up to get the explanation. Brianna Weiskircher can't believe that call. And so a couple unforced errors from Penn State as Minnesota right back within 2. Samity with a service error, and it leads to set point for Penn State.
Hugh McCutcheon quite frustrated with that service error. Again, middle of the net, not a good spot to make an error for Minnesota.
Parker's got the big jump serve. There it is. Seliger-Swenson's back set to Pittman on the overpass. Rollins this time. Dug by White. Bump set, Cathy. For the kill and the set to Penn State.
Cathy for Penn State does a great job of exploiting, again, the drop-off blockers for the Golden Gophers. That time it was the left front blocker coming off the net to dig, unable to control a half-speed shot from Allison Cathy.
One more look.
Now let's take a look at this. So great defensive play here. Both sides of the net doing a really good job keeping that ball alive. Take a look at Cathy here on this play. Takes a little bit off of it and forces the left front blocker for Minnesota to make a play. Minnesota's drop-off blockers just not stopped and ready, and that results in Penn State point, and they get that set.
So the first kill for Allison Cathy ends set 2, and after these first 2 sets in State College, we are level in a top 10 tussle between Minnesota and Penn State. Final weekend of the regular season, Minnesota trying to stay perfect in the Big Ten, Penn State trying to spoil the party at Rec Hall. In that first meeting between these teams, it was Minnesota that was ranked number 7 at the time. They won all 3 sets by a combined 13 points over Penn State, number 4 at the time.
Yeah, and this is where, you know, the physicality of Minnesota really shined early on in the season, and we're seeing it still here tonight. And they really came off, you know, to a great start in that match, playing in front of their home crowd. So this Minnesota team, certainly this match is nowhere near being over. Both are very competitive, want to win tonight.
Well, you heard Russ Rose. Set 1, we hit 100.
Yeah.
And we turned that around in set 2 with a performance. There were a lot of hitting errors in the first set. For Minnesota, meanwhile, that last line, 7 service errors.
Yeah, 7 service errors, and it's the type of service errors, again, I already mentioned it, you don't want to serve into the bottom of the net. If you're serving and that ball is just kissing the line, going out of bounds slightly, or you're going after a player, you know, you can understand those errors, but bottom of the net are frustrating for a coach to stomach.
Top 10 battle between Minnesota and Penn State, even after the first 2 sets. Audrey Flaw, Mike Monaco, our entire BTN crew from State College. Morgan off the feed from Seliger Swenson. Now Parker with a line shot at McGraw. Hart off the block and down to begin set 3.
Alexis Hart, again, a little off-speed shot. You see these bombs going over the net and the great defensive plays, and oftentimes it's something that trickles off the block, forces the defensive player to stop and make another move. A change of direction can sometimes be very difficult for defensive players.
Nia Reed, Weiskircher kept that up from the court. Now Samity, dug by White. Parker, down the line and in.
Kendall White is a digging machine. A one-handed stab at the ball. Take a look at how she lays out. And that ball doesn't just go up, it goes right into the hands of Weiskircher. So a great defensive effort by Kendall White to play the ball, but put it right where the setter can run a very good offense.
She's got a match-high 15 digs. She says herself, the libero position is all about the drive and the heart that you bring to the floor. Serena Gray for Penn State.
Well, Penn State right now seems to be serving the ball to Adana Rollins, number 20 for Minnesota. She's getting a lot of action here. We'll see how she can respond.
Hampton goes in that direction. CeCe McGraw takes it. And Taylor Morgan is a pogo stick in the middle.
Oh, wow. But a great pass allows that middle to be run. But take a look at this. Great distance off the net. Great elevation above the net. And then a fast arm swing. Wow.
How hard is that speed to defend from the middle?
Oh boy, yeah, when you're one-on-one, it's almost impossible. You know, the best you can do is get down low and hope that it hits you, because there's not much reaction time that you're given on that swing.
Parker misfired down the line at the net. Taylor Morgan, the redshirt junior from Blaine, Minnesota. 25 minutes from campus. Top 5 in the conference in hitting percentage. Stepping into a more starring role this year. With one arm, Rollins to the overpass, and Taylor Leaf takes care of that.
Well, this is intentional. Take a little bit of heat off the ball and place it where we want a certain defender to play the ball. And that time, they're going after Rollins in that left front area of the court. They're not going for the hard shot. They're trying to place it. If she plays the ball perfectly, she's out of the offense, and now it becomes a two-hitter offense to defend.
From that left front spot, she gets the swing, handled by Penn State. Point Penn State off the block.
Penn State. 4 serving 33 is serving Nittany.
You're seeing two great freshmen going after each other. Parker for Penn State, Rollins blocking her on the other side of the net. So we're seeing some fabulous freshman play here tonight.
You know, we looked at each other before the match. We said, is the Big Ten Freshman of the Year on the court in some capacity tonight? There's a sophomore in Samity, but there are so many good ones on both sides.
Oh, for sure. Samity, though, that sophomore, sensational. It's always nice to have somebody like her when you find yourself in a pickle. She can just kind of clean it up for you, just lay the ball high, let her do her thing, swing deep and hard.
Nearly kept up by Samity and company, but Penn State is up by 1.
Dylan Parker serving out at 5, serving 4.
Parker serve. Pittman for the kill. Reagan Pittman with her third. Hey, tomorrow on BTN, we're right back here in Happy Valley. Johnny Parker and the Nittany Lions wrap up the regular season. Dana Retke and the Badgers come to town, coming off the win against Rutgers this afternoon. Big Ten Volleyball powered by American Ethanol, 8 Eastern, right here, BTN and the Fox Sports app. Weiskircher's dump. Pittman got a piece of it. Weiskircher to Hoare. Another one of those freshmen coming out of the middle.
Oh, I love what a jump set will do. Take a look at this. Both Minnesota's blockers go up, and there's nobody to block that ball. So great jump set there by Weiskircher. It shows you why setters, you need to jump set all the time.
Weiskircher kept it up for Parker long enough. Dump from Seliger Swenson. White dug it, and now a kill for Nia Reed.
Well, it's really defense right now on both sides of the net. And I'm not talking the blocking game so much, but backcourt defense. Kendall White really frustrating both the hitters and the setter, Seliger Swenson, trying to get a dump, and White denying her that point.
Pittman puts it down off the slide. So good off 1 foot and in a rhythm with Seliger Swenson for much of this year.
Yeah, when she is on, take a look at what she can do. She approaches from that left front area of the court, and you can see that seam between the blockers. Nia Reed drifted out instead of just kind of jumping and landing in the same spot. That drift allowed some angle for Pittman to hit into.
I just told you, Dana Retke will be here tomorrow night on BTN. She is first in hitting percentage in the Big Ten. Reagan Pittman just behind her at second, and she and Samity have Minnesota back even in set 3. Donna Rollins serves. Goes at Caitlin Hoare. Reed could not get it past Seliger Swenson and the tape there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that ball crossed the plane of the net or not. Well, it did hit Seliger Swenson's forearms. Ball was dying into the zone before it got to Reed.
Weiskircher keeps it alive. Seliger Swenson goes back to Pittman. And another point for Minnesota, now up by 2.
And you can see when Minnesota controls the first contact, they are super good. Serve, receive, you know, even on defense, if they can play that ball up, Swenson does her thing. And she's so hard to read at the point of contact when she jump sets. It's a neutral position. She doesn't give anything away with her body or her hands.
Service error, the first one of this set and the 8th total for Minnesota.
Back serving 8, serving 9.
Here's Kendall White. She goes short. Back set to Pittman. Hart is blocked.
Well, for Penn State, number 16, Serena Gray, a great job of staying neutral and balanced and waiting for the ball to be set. You don't want to guess where Samantha Seliger Swenson is going to set. So she's neutral, takes a big step to her right to seal that block.
White not happy with her service there. What do you thought of the performance of Brianna Weiskircher tonight?
Well, I think she does a remarkable job. I mean, I think she's underrated as a setter. You know, she puts her hitters in great opportunities to score, and you know, she's just a calm presence out there. She's not too rattled. You know, she's setting Parker just where she needs to be set, so varying the offense. So I like Weiskircher a lot. I think she's a great setter.
She found Johnny Parker for kill number 14.
Right, so you can see Johnny Parker coming out of the backcourt there. Again, in system, so it's not a bailout set. It's something that they do on a perfect pass with Parker.
Lexi Hart goes down the line. Now Seliger-Swenson. And a service error, the 9th one for Minnesota now.
Taylor Leaf for Penn State takes her foot all the way to the sideline. That ball was to the left of her left foot, so calls it out. So you can see that Minnesota is trying to go after Leaf, trying to make her make some decisions there on serve receive. So that's an error that you could almost accept, you know, because you're trying to make the player decide, should I play it, should I not play it? So just hugging that line is pretty impressive.
Kendall White into the second row. Morgan.
Well, a great effort by Kendall White, but it results in a free ball. Minnesota in system, one-on-one. And wow, that is national team potential right there. That's a huge swing. I don't know how you defend that. Pretty much, let's just give Minnesota the point, I would think Penn State's saying, and let's try and do better and not send free balls over the net.
Another point for Minnesota, up by 2, and that is really high praise for Taylor Morgan. The 6-foot redshirt junior middle has had such a breakout season.
An outstanding track athlete. Her dad, Matt, is involved in the track and field program at Minnesota, so she's a tremendous athlete, as we've said, jumps really well and has improved her volleyball game a ton this year.
And Hugh McCutcheon has his green card up. Point went to Penn State, and the line judge had a conflicting view of it as the R1 did.
The ball was out. First challenge by the Gophers. Each team has 2 challenges remaining.
All right, we're going to take another look at this. Parker going for that line shot.
Hugh McCutcheon using the green card here.
Yeah.
After the call from the R1 went to Penn State. I'm not sure there's going to be conclusive evidence, at least on the views we've seen so far.
Let's take a look at this angle. I think this might be the best one that we've got. Okay, from that angle, I would say it looks out.
And so, Audrey Flaw, we get the word that they are reversing the call. It is out. So there was conclusive evidence, and Hugh McCutcheon successful, as Russ Rose was a set earlier.
Yeah, it's amazing with the speed of the ball and where these coaches are sitting that they can still feel like they're seeing a good angle and feel comfortable enough to challenge it.
Line judge had the best view as well.
Right.
And he had the call correct. That stayed within 2.
Yeah, and oftentimes the players on the court will say, yeah, coach, challenge that one.
Serena Gray behind the line. Minnesota took set 1. Penn State answered back in set 2. Top 10 matchup here today in Rec Hall. Dug by McGraw. Rollins. Cross court toward the corner, but out. And it's a 1-point set in the middle here of set 3. Service error, and Minnesota is the first to 15 in set 3, up by 2 in State College. into the holiday spirit as we near December. We welcome you back to Rec Hall. Audrey Flaw, Mike Monaco. We've got nice, we've got naughty. We've got time to change that too.
I like being naughty every once in a while. It's a great match tonight. We're seeing a great Penn State team right now. Minnesota hanging on here. Great Big Ten volleyball.
It's been a fun atmosphere here tonight, a good match so far as we're in set 3, and both these teams really duked it back and forth in set 1 and set 2, and Minnesota right now up by 2 in set 3. We don't have the antlers though, or a Santa Claus hat. They have packed this place, even though Thanksgiving break for a lot of the students. And Johnny Parker opens up out of the timeout with a kill, her 15th already.
You know, what's remarkable about Johnny Parker is, as good as she is of a hitter, and you see her displaying her talent tonight, she is equally as good in the setting position. Ohio State Player of the Year, Gatorade Player of the Year last year. So a lot of people in the state of Ohio love her, including my daughter, looks up to Johnny Parker. Any chance she gets, she comes and watches and learns from her.
Seen Parker be so effective on the right side tonight and also moving her all over the court. And then Samity this time from the right pin with a nice cut shot as well. Poured on the slide. Samity bumps it and a free ball from McGraw. Weiskircher to the middle. Kept up. McCutcheon wanted to see some more digs, better defense as this match wears on. How about that from Barnes in the back? Over the top, Rollins there to take care of it, but outside the antenna.
So again, part of the strategy for Penn State, if you're going to tip the ball, force the drop-off blocker to play that ball. The line person in right back is playing a deep line shot. So they're responsible for that line hit, drop-off blocker playing the tip, and it's been working so well for Penn State.
Minnesota's got the point, up by 2.
Well, let's take a look at this one again. That back row attack trickles over the net, and again, it's not always those hard hits. You've got to be on your toes and be able to play. We call it ugly volleyball, the ball that trickles off the net, deflects off the blocker's hands. You've got to be able to play those balls.
How about Seliger Swenson holding her own on the right side? Off the opposite there, and the left side attack from Nia Reed.
You know, this is a part of her game that she has improved upon. So you'd rather, coaches say, I'd rather have a small block than a bad block. She goes straight up and over, does not allow the ball to be used off her hands at all. So she's showing that, hey, I can improve in aspects of my game, and that's one that she has taken very serious this year, and she's become a better blocker for sure.
Yeah, the term that Hugh McCutcheon used with us today at practice is no longer a liability there defensively with her floor work and also her blocking. White keeps it up. And then Bray can't do the same off the net.
Minnesota. 19-16 rated. Pittman is serving for the Gophers.
3-time All-American and Samantha Seliger Swenson. And number 3 Minnesota up by 3 in this third set. Weiskircher with nearly the same exact dump in the same spot that Seliger Swenson had.
Well, what's smart about the placement of that is where Reagan Pittman, the server, is going to play defense. Take a look at where she goes. Pittman's there, and probably not the most mobile person on defense, so a lot of the area of the court there is open, so Pittman was not going to make a move or a play on that ball.
And Weiskircher really seeing Pittman cheat into the center of the court, read it really well.
Yeah, even if you don't get an exact vision of what the defense is doing, you can get a feel for where they are. So you don't always have to look over and see where the defense is. It's just that feeling. I feel like setters have a sixth sense as to what to do with the ball sometimes.
You might know a thing or two about that. Hugh McCutcheon takes a timeout. Minnesota up by 1 in set 3.
There's nothing like home court advantage. We see that in Minnesota, undefeated at home right now. So Illinois, they're having a spectacular season. You know, they are contenders to be in that top 4 ranking. So it's a battle to host, but also it's a battle just to get in. And there's some teams in the Big Ten Conference that are hoping to get the nod by the committee. So we'll talk about those teams a little later on.
Yeah, Minnesota certainly not on the bubble. You see their winning streak that Samantha Seliger-Swenson and company have put together this year. And like you said, they've got a chance to make this their real last road trip of the season, their last time outside the city of Minneapolis this weekend.
Yeah, that would be a huge treat for these guys to just finish off the NCAA tournament on their home, in their home state, playing a lot of matches on their home court. Right now, Minnesota looking like one of the top teams in the nation. Just really, they're not rattled. Even when things don't go their way, they're calm. They don't seem stressed out. You know, they're excellent in systems. So defensively, if they can keep things going their way, especially with the drop-off blockers, this will be a team that will contend for the national championship.
Well, they're up by 3 in set 3, and Russ Rose takes the timeout. Well, it's a question that Hugh McCutcheon has been getting asked more and more as this season has gone on. What would it mean to go undefeated in the Big Ten season? They're 18-0 right now. One match tonight, another match tomorrow. These are teams that have gone undefeated in Big Ten conference play. Of course, Penn State has done it so much in that storied history, but they're also the most recent Big Ten team to do it in 2009.
Right, and it's such a difficult thing to do because of the level of play that's expected of you every single weekend. But you can see some of those programs that have been able to accomplish that over the years. Difficult task. So, you know, Minnesota would like to be part of that group and get a win here tonight.
And if you ask Hugh McCutcheon about what it would mean to go undefeated, he doesn't give you much. He said they don't put the trophy in an extra special bow if you go 20-0. He's not focused on that. At least that's what he says publicly, and the team might feel differently about that.
Right, and one of the interesting things he said is he's curious to see how his team comes out and plays tonight because the title's not on the line. What are they playing for? He wants to see if this team has it within them to play with pride, and they are certainly displaying that tonight. It would be a huge thing for them to win here in Happy Valley. They haven't done it since 2004.
So that's all the big picture talk. We zoom back in on what we've had tonight here late in set 3. Our match summary, the attack errors for Penn State, those cropped up in set 1. A little bit more here as this match has wore on into set 3. And Minnesota, as it has for much of this season, hitting very close to 300.
Right, and you know, when you're playing this level, it's about sustaining high level of play and not playing like you're on a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. So, you know, Penn State having to kind of level things off here, eliminate some of their errors, and see what they can do here in the third.
Johnny Parker goes down the line at Seliger-Swenson. Now Minnesota out of system. Weiskircher, back set to Parker. At the hands of C.C. McGraw, and Penn State back within a pair.
Well, Parker gets the kill, and now she's just communicating with her middle. It's always the next point. She is such a leader out there, just a freshman, and you can see her versatility on serve receive. She hit from the left pin, hard down the line, hustles over to the right pin, and gets the kill on her second swing.
16 kills now on 40 swings. Penn State goes at Rollins again. Samity off the block for the kill.
Well, those are the shots that show just how versatile you are, how many different ways can you get kills, and that one's high off the blocker's hand. She takes a little bit off of it. She knows exactly what she wants to do with the ball. Uses that block for a point.
Weiskircher to Parker, cuts it at Samity. Seliger-Swenson ran out of space at the table.
Johnny Parker challenging again, the drop-off blocker. Hey, dig this ball. What can you do with it? Really sharp and intentionally placed inside the 10-foot line. Take a little bit of heat off of it, force somebody to make a good dig.
Serena Gray with an ace serve. First one of the night for Penn State comes in set 3 in a crucial spot.
Yeah, this is a critical time for an ace for Penn State, a real momentum changer for them. You can see how that ball drops just before it gets to CeCe McGraw. McGraw's been great all night, so that's a tough one to let go.
Now Gray again. Freshman middle serves tough at Barnes. Samity, 16 kills, trying to go blow for blow with Johnny Parker.
Well, Samantha's going clear across the court on this one. Take a look at where she sets that ball from. She's at the 3-meter line right in the middle of the court. And it's not that she just back sets, it's a perfectly placed back set. So Samantha Seliger-Swenson showing why.
In a spot they haven't won in since 2004. CeCe McGraw behind the line. Good pass from White. There's Parker. McGraw digs it. Free ball from Rollins. White steps in. Weiskircher to the middle for Caitlin Hord, and Penn State within 1.
So when you get a free ball and you've got 3 hitters, the blockers have got to respect the hitter in front of them, and that's why setting the A is often effective. The blockers can't bunch in the middle because then the setter will set it to the outside. So you've got to make sure if you're sending a free ball over that you're trying to send it in a more difficult spot on the defense, because more often than not it results in an easy point, as we saw there from Penn State.
Now Hord was one-on-one, and Samity gets the touch and the point for Minnesota.
17 kills for her. Let's take a look at this shot. And they call touch right away. So does the line judge. That was a high ball, just touched the tips of the fingertips.
And so Samity serves on set point for Minnesota. Allison Cathy with a big swing at Lauren Barnes. Cathy has only had 2 kills, and they've been in huge spots late in sets.
Well, a big arm from Cathy. Watch her display what she can do there. Unbelievable swing at a critical time. So holding nothing back when the game is on the line. So that takes a lot of courage from Allison Cathy.
And she serves on set point number 2 for Minnesota. Pittman. And the point to Penn State. Hugh McCutcheon already has the green card, thinking there was a touch. So a challenge that there was a touch on inconclusive. So Penn State hanging around, leading set 3.
Well, here's what I like. I like these moments in matches. 24-24. Who's going to be the person that's going to want the ball in this situation, whether it's serve receive, whether it's telling the setter, hey, give me the ball. This is really what separates the women from the girls right now. So we'll see how the team and how individuals handle this pressure moment.
Emily Shora back in to serve. Donna Rollins. Nice job by Shora to dig it. Nia Reed off speed. Kept up by McGraw and Seliger-Swenson. Reed again for a kill. And set point on the way for Penn State. How about the serve and the dig from Shora?
Yeah, it's what you want when you call someone off the bench. Make an impact, and she did just that. And then Nia Reed, a huge point for Penn State. And the people here in the arena are loving every minute of it. Fans on their feet.
Hugh McCutcheon takes that second timeout with Penn State ready to tee it up on set point, up 25-24. Let's have another look all the way back to the serve. Again, bringing in Emily Shora, the junior DS from Virginia.
Well, she puts over a tough serve here, but what she does even better than that is make a great dig. You see her down low, covering, and then it's Nia Reed at a critical time when you need a point, you go to your big swing. Reed loving that moment, delivering for her team.
Well, Nia Reed with the kill, part of this senior group for Penn State. What Reed has done this season, along with Brianna Weiskircher, a fifth-year senior, and then the grad transfer Taylor Leith, who started her career at North Carolina.
Yeah, these three young ladies have done a remarkable job, and they celebrated senior night last week, and boy, this program is really going to miss those three girls. But what do we have here in the third set? Beautiful display of Big Ten volleyball. Critical point right now for Penn State.
Rec Hall on its collective feet. Shora. Pittman on the slide at White, and Minnesota even at 25.
Oh, we talk about the courage that it takes. Pittman showing the fight in her, taking that slide and just hammering that ball with authority, tying it up for the Gophers.
The freshman Rollins at White. Weiskircher goes to get it. Nia Reed. Rollins set to Hart. Now a bump set from McGraw, and blocked by Penn State.
Hart sends over a tip, then hammers it. The problem is she hammers it low seam. Take a look at where this ball goes. They triple block her. Nice strategy there by Penn State. Huge point. Again, we'll see what Minnesota can do on serve receive here.
Kendall White serves at Rollins. Hart answers right back for the Gophers.
And that's a champion right there, a great swing. You get blocked. What do you do on the next play? You have to get a point, critical time. Watch that. Just an aggressive swing. Seliger-Swenson putting her in a great opportunity. You saw a little bit of a seam there in the block.
Weiskircher pushes it all the way out to Nia Reed. There's Lexi Hart again, off speed, kept up. Reed with a tip.
Now that's smart playing by Penn State. In transition to set of 3, bring the blocker in for Minnesota. Take a look at this. Block comes in. Look at all the space there. Tons of space to tip into. So well executed by Penn State.
How about the work in transition with the entire front row crashing to their right side of the net. Hart for Minnesota when they've needed answers.
Yeah, this is great volleyball. I don't need to say that. Everybody can see that. Very courageous plays, wanting the ball at the heat of the moment, wanting to execute for your team. I love it.
Parker explodes forward.
You can only do that when your serve-receive game is on. A great play by Parker. She's in the left front area of the court, takes a 2-ball in the middle and hammers it home.
Jenna Hampton ready to serve. Both teams have had multiple set points in set 3. Taylor Morgan. So it's been Hart a couple times, and now Taylor Morgan, 28-all.
Yeah, Hart's in the back court now, so who else is going to be the go-to? Well, why not this kid right here? Wow, she has been unstoppable. Again, it's a first tempo attack, but it's so high above the plane of the net. Really tough to stop.
Lauren Barnes has been very effective serving this season. Parker off of McGraw's hands. It's a new season high in kills for Johnny Parker, eclipsing what she did a month and a half ago against Purdue. Here's Samity. Bump set from Hampton to Parker. Point Penn State, and set 3 to the Nittany Lions. "20 kills in 3 sets so far for Johnny Parker."
Yeah, and 9 in the 3rd set. Penn State riding on her shoulders. You're going to see a variety of shots from her at critical times. Fearless, feisty, and look at the emotion that she has. She's doing it all right now. Take a look at how it breaks down. 4 in the first set, 7 in the second, and then when her team needed her most in the 3rd set, she comes up with 9 kills. That's remarkable.
Anything jump out to you about Johnny Parker now on November 23rd from earlier in the season?
I think she's playing with a lot more confidence, and I think what we said in the Open is true too. You know, she certainly has a hammer for an arm, and if that shot is open, she will hammer it, but she's also hitting smart. So she knows if there is a huge block in front of me and they're taking a shot, how is another way that I can score? And I think she goes through that thought process very quickly. I think Russ Rose has taught her that you're not always going to be able to bury the ball straight down. So let's think about where the weaker defensive player is on the other side of the net, and let's try and make them play that ball. She's gotten a couple points that way as well.
3 sets in 2 hours. We are on to set 4 with Penn State up 2 sets to 1 on Minnesota. Unbeaten to this point in the Big Ten at 18-0. Hart goes cross court and misses her target, and Penn State up first in set 4.
A defensive effort by Penn State right now. Unbelievable. Parker saving that ball with a one-handed stab, and then results in a point. So you can see a little bit of frustration here from Minnesota, a little bit of a hangover there from the third set.
But we've talked a lot about Johnny Parker. Samity, 18 kills, hitting above 420.
Yeah, equally impressive Samity is for the Gophers. And anytime she touches the ball, boy, it seems to be a kill. Sulliger-Swenson finding wherever she is. So if you're Penn State, you really have to understand the majority of the balls are going to Samity. See if you can double block her.
Seliger-Swenson finds Rollins. That was tight for Weiskircher. And the point to Penn State.
Well, it's often what setters can do in difficult situations, and you're going to see what Weiskircher does right here. Nothing but a one-handed set. That's all that she's able to do. If she went with two hands, very likely that she would have been in the net. So with a one-handed set, delivers a perfect A-ball to her middle.
Hampton. Taylor Morgan has it down. 2-2 to begin set 4.
Point Minnesota. CC McGraw, the leader on the serve at 2, serving 2.
And Morgan has been ultra efficient as well. 8 kills, no errors on 16 swings. Weiskircher, a back set to Gray in the middle. And now to Parker, cuts it across, but that is out. And the point to Minnesota. Hey, Sunday on BTN, the Lady Lions hit the hardwood to take on Stony Brook. The action tips off Sunday, 2 Eastern, right here on BTN and the Fox Sports app. And if you were watching BTN last Sunday, Penn State also in action. They went to overtime, and they had a thrilling win over Princeton. Serena Gray pulls Penn State level again.
Penn State, Gray back serving with the Nittany Lions at 3.
You just get the sense here that Penn State's having a ton of fun. Being in system is a ton of fun, and you can see right there, one-on-one. Penn State just kind of dominating at the net. Whenever you've got your middle against just one middle attacker or one middle blocker on the other side of the net, boy, so many angles to hit.
Horde went up to get it, and this is going to go against Samantha Seliger-Swenson. She disagrees.
Her argument is, I didn't even touch the ball. You can see there that, in fact, she does.
Going up against Caitlin Horde. Gray with a tough serve at Barnes. Back set to Samity. There's Johnny Parker. Off the tape and down. Little shoulder shrug there for Johnny Parker.
Well, sometimes you just have a night where things seem to go your way. Here's a shot that is just going to go Johnny Parker's way, because that's the kind of night she's having tonight.
Rollins cut in front of Barnes. Off the free ball. Options for Weiskircher. She goes to Parker. 22 kills.
Well, Rollins right now for the Gophers needs to figure out, hey, what shot do I need to try to defend on Parker? And if you're going to go straight up, Parker's going to hit some shots. So you've got to take the angle of her approach. Let's take a look at this one. What a shot by Parker.
The rookie from Casstown, Ohio, has Penn State on a 4-0 run. Nittany Lions up by 3 early on in set 4 in State College, Pennsylvania. Serena Gray has been serving for the Nittany Lions. She goes at Barnes again. Stephanie Samity. And the net violation has the point with Penn State.
And this is an interesting part of the match here. You know, Minnesota, what are they playing for right now? They're playing for pride. We'll see if they can turn things around. This team is very calm under pressure situations. We'll see right now if they can find a way to make things go their way.
Reagan Pittman with a kill for Minnesota.
And you make things go your way by developing a good rhythm offensively, and that starts with first contact. So good serve receive by Minnesota results in a point. And Pittman just nails that ball hard.
Weiskircher all the way to Parker on the back set for another kill.
You know, her sister, Paige, her older sister, would be so proud of how she's playing tonight. High swing off the blocker's hands. You know, her sister had a dream, and that was to play at Penn State. She didn't quite make it here, but look at what her sister, Johnny Parker, is doing, living out that dream, doing a spectacular job tonight.
Yeah, those two have been so closely linked. Great stories, of course, that we've told you about here on BTN as well, with Johnny and her hearing issues that date back to her early years, and her older sister Paige, like you said, not just a college volleyball player in their home state of Ohio in her own right, but now Johnny's audiologist as well. Penn State by 4.
Well, I think this is a real effective type of a dump. 2 hands, and it's just, you know, you're pushing the ball across with 2 hands very quickly. So in terms of disguising it, you know, both hands are up at the same time, so really hard to defend. It looks like you're setting the ball.
Minnesota battling at the net, but Weiskircher stands tall.
Weiskircher, not only can she set the ball, but she knows what to do if that ball is at the net, aggressively taking care of that ball.
Service error from Taylor Leaf is the 6th one from Penn State tonight. Just back to Weiskircher for a minute. How about her stat line? 46 assists, 12 digs, 4 kills, and 4 blocks as well for the 5th-year senior from Illinois.
Yeah, it's important to just be good in all aspects of the game. She's really displaying her talents in every area. Defensively, really impressive as well.
Horde. Tracked down. Rollins went diving for it. Nia Reed. Pittman dug it. Seliger Swenson sets Morgan. What a sequence for Minnesota.
Well, that's a great save by Samantha Seliger Swenson. You know, she's off the net. She's right at the sideline here. Take a look at this. Great dig. She's moving back, puts the ball up. And a wonderful job by number 12, Taylor Morgan, to just read the play and go with the setter, make herself an option offensively. Well done by Taylor Morgan.
Samity stepped in. Weiskircher sets Nia Reed for the kill. So Penn State had the service error. Minnesota had a momentum play, and Penn State, despite that, response.
But look at this set here. Awesome. The smart thing about that is the middle went up. Second tempo hitter, Nia Reed, was right behind her. Hit over top of the smaller block. Seliger Swenson.
Morgan blocked, Rollins gets to it. Gray out of the middle. Samity long. Just her 3rd hitting error tonight.
Yeah, some frustration errors right now is what we're seeing. 1 error is turning into 2, turning into 3. So critical point here for Minnesota. They're still within reach here. Very early part of the 4th set. We'll see if they can clean up their game.
Rollins' pass forced Seliger Swenson to go get it, and Hart converts it into a kill anyway.
Well, we saw her show up big in the 3rd set, near the tail end of the 3rd set, coming through big time here in the 4th to get that point and to keep them within range.
And if you're just tuning in, some late night Friday night action perhaps. Minnesota 18-0 in the Big Ten on the 19-match winning streak. Number 3 in the country, number 2 in the RPI. Final weekend of the regular season. Bump set from Seliger Swenson. Off the down ball, White digs it. Minnesota really scrapping here in set 4. Hart. Her tip kept up by Parker. Off the free ball. Weiskircher to Reed. Point Penn State.
Oh, the fans here in Rec Hall loving every moment of what they're seeing here. Beautiful display, high-level volleyball. Nia Reed just taking advantage of a block that's hands are reaching out to the antenna, wipes it off. Big point for Penn State.
Reed into double figures now as well, joining Parker and Horde. Reed and Horde both with 10. On the overpass, there's Lexi Hart. She's been good as well. Opposite Samity, they've combined for 31 kills.
Well, take a look at this dig. Well done by White, but wasn't able to control it, sends that overpass over the net, but a serious angle is what she defended there. Kendall White, wow. And then she did get that one. You could see just how gutsy she is and what she's capable of doing.
Serena Gray trying to get the hair situated here.
We can hear Russ saying, does anybody have another hair tie for this girl? Come on.
Can't help you there, Coach. 13-9 Penn State in set 4. Another serve at Leap. Another swing from Reed. And a kill for Nia Reed.
Oh, what a gutsy set by Weiskircher. She's just feeling it tonight. This ball takes her clear across the net at the 10-foot line, puts up a nice high back set. Nia Reed, perfect timing, right between the blocker's hands for a kill.
Jenna Hampton. Rollins from that left side for Minnesota, back within 4.
I know Rollins undersized a little bit, but in terms of her athleticism and her gutsiness, boy, you gotta like what you see from that girl. Played club at TAV, one of the best clubs in the state of Texas.
Good coverage by Leaf. Parker line at McGraw. Rollins, this time line. And a kill for Rollins.
Cece McGraw denying Johnny Parker that kill down the line. So a lot of action going to Cece McGraw. We saw her struggle to dig, but that time in perfect position, calm as that ball is being hit to her. Minnesota transitioning for the swing.
Parker is blocked by Reagan Pittman.
And just like that, Minnesota back within 2 here. Great defense, keeps you in games. You're going to see Pittman here, Reed staying her ground and then reaching to her right as she sees Parker going for that shot to the right back corner.
Good pass from White. Now Parker again. And that is long off the overdig from Seliger Swenson.
Penn State, 15-12, Serena Gray to serve in the Nittany line.
Minnesota's been able to whittle it down to 2. A couple times now in this 4th set that they've been down by as many as 5. Gray. Samity's tip is down for Minnesota. Kill number 19.
Nice time for her to change up. You could see that Penn State's defense playing a perimeter, digging deep, lots of room over the block to tip, and you see 3 people for Penn State going for the ball, and sometimes that causes hesitation because you think you're going to smash into your teammates. So, well-placed shot by Samity.
Samity's serve went off the tape. Seliger Swenson bumps it back to Rollins, right into the block of Penn State.
Rollins hesitating a little bit, knew that it wasn't the perfect set to swing and get a kill. She roll shots it. The problem is you can never go low seam. That's right into the belly and the teeth of the block. Penn State does a good job of sealing the net. That was all Parker.
This time Gabby Blossom comes in to serve for Johnny Parker. Rollins blocked.
Penn State showing why they're the #1 blocking team in the conference. Commit block to the outside, so there's no guessing where that ball's going to go. They know for a fact they're there early. Seal that net.
We showed you the numbers earlier. Top 5 in the NCAA as well. This time Penn State got a piece of it and then was trying to locate it.
Yeah, I think it went off the block and then maybe touched someone's shoulder or head or something. Took a weird bounce off the block at any rate. So Minnesota getting that point.
Minnesota has been pushed to 5 sets a couple times recently. Michigan State, Ohio State most recently over the weekend. They're trying to force a 5th set, but Weiskircher has been terrific tonight.
Well, she's balancing out what she's doing right now and really taking advantage, seeing that and getting a feel that the left side blocker isn't jumping with her. And if you've got that feel and you can feel that, you know, they're on their feet, then that's the time you want to dump. You don't want to dump when you feel that blocker go up. If they go up with you, that's the perfect time to dish it to the pin.
The one they call Mom on this young Penn State team with 10 newcomers. Minnesota back within 3.
Alexis Hart, what a variety of shots she has at time. Again, not really going for the hammer, but placing it perimeter away from the left back digger's reach. Alexis Hart playing with a ton of heart tonight, doing an outstanding job. Her numbers are looking pretty good as well.
Penn State tracked it down, got a pretty good swing out of Reed, and then it's off the antenna. So it's 19-15, Penn State getting later and later in set 4. Kendall White. Seliger Swenson to the dunk. Weiskircher took a swing at it, but it's down on Penn State's side.
An interesting front row right now for the Gophers. They've got Taylor Morgan, who has been virtually unstoppable. Alexis Hart, of course, number 10, Samity. So 3 incredibly strong hitters and great blockers. So a nice lineup here for Minnesota.
42 kills between those 3 tonight for Minnesota. Weiskircher and Serena Gray not on the same page, and so it's a 2-point margin here. Weiskircher pushes it all the way to Nia Reed, and it's blocked. Morgan is fired up for Minnesota.
Well, she is, and that's the athlete that you want up front. Take a look at how high she gets. That ball hits the floor before Nia Reed's feet hit the floor, and then that huge celebration, building momentum for her team.
3-0 run for Minnesota and a Penn State timeout in set 4. And Penn State, as the Nittany Lions are trying to become the first, and to this point would be the only team in the Big Ten that would have knocked off Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota, though, what a great comeback, showing resiliency, playing at a high level at critical times when the game is on the line. Situations can get out of hand. Their first contact has really risen to the occasion. They're playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Never frazzled. Those were the words from some of the Penn State assistant coaches when we talked to them at practice today. That's what stands out about the way Minnesota's battling right now. They've had some more of those 5-set matches. They've been wins to this point. They're down 2-1. Hart, right at Gray, kept up. Nia Reed stepped in for Penn State. Samity with the kill. 19 all in set 4.
Well, Samantha Seliger Swenson gets her almost one-on-one. You can see Penn State's block almost biting it to the left pin, and that causes a seam, just enough area for Samity to swing get a deflection and score.
Golden Gophers in enemy territory. Hart rolled that right over the tape. Parker with the hitting error.
Yeah, you got to know when that ball is you just don't have the ability to swing well on that. It was under set. It was not perfect for her to take a back row attack, leaping into the court. So just a poor error there by Johnny Parker. We haven't seen very many errors from her. That one was not a good one.
On the overpass, Morgan defeats Weiskircher at the net, and it's now a 6-0 run for Minnesota.
We always talk about how this game is won or lost first contact. Serving right now for Minnesota is tough. You see Russ Rose off the bench, pleading with his team, get that first pass up so we can run an offense.
I think he wanted a timeout as well, didn't get it. Johnny Parker does get the kill.
No, Parker in that serve receive pattern, she's left front, so she swings to the left pin. Super hard to defend. She seems to be going down the line trying to make Seliger Swenson play that ball. It's just an incredible kid, Johnny Parker.
25 kills now. But Taylor Morgan for Minnesota has 11 on 20 swings without an error.
Replacing Alexis Lauren Barnes, serving at 22, serving 20.
Minnesota by 2 in set 4. Russ Rose beckoning his team make a play. Weiskircher sets Nia Reed. Nearly kept up by Minnesota, but Penn State back within 1.
Well, what's significant is Adana Rollins has rotated to the front court, so she is blocking. You're going to see number 20 there for Minnesota, and you can see how she's reaching out to that left pin, which makes a lot of area available to swing cross court. So Rollins has rotated front court. We'll see if Penn State exploits her on the block.
They do serve at McGraw. And now Samity puts it down for Minnesota. She has 21 kills, hitting above 360.
Well, watching her play tonight is such a treat. She delivers every single time. You know, we talk about the women's game looking a lot like the men's game, and the men's game always had strong right side attackers. Stephanie Samity, one of the best in the conference.
Second timeout used by Russ Rose. Minnesota up by 2 late in set 4, trying to force a 5th set here in State College as the number 3 team in the country, the number 2 team in the RPI. And here's what's at stake as we take a look at the entire nation and the teams that are potentially trying to grab those top 4 spots, which ensures that you would host all the way toward the Final 4.
Yeah, and you know, Minnesota right now, you know, they're looking like they could quite possibly win this set. It's going to be a battle, but you know, I really feel like their spot to host is secure. Illinois has a tremendous challenge. I think Purdue is a very strong team. They play them tomorrow night. So, you know, clearly we've already talked about the advantage of playing at home, not having to travel, sleeping in your own bed, eating meals at restaurants that you're familiar with. All of that stuff comes into play, okay? It's really important, and both of these teams really want to host.
Well, and you talked about Illinois earlier as well. They beat Michigan State earlier this week. They will face Purdue in Champaign tomorrow. The RPI rankings, again, at the outset of this week for the Big Ten teams. And what do you make of Maryland as well? Indiana was so close to a big win over Purdue, but Maryland, what do you think of them?
Well, I think Maryland is in a very interesting situation. At 53, their RPI, you know, traditionally teams that are ranked 49th or better, 50% of the time they make it into the tournament, so they're right there on the periphery, but they've had some big wins. You know, Maryland is a team that has a winning record, and those are the true criteria. You know, the committee looks at their overall record and the significant wins that they've had versus bad losses.
Point to Penn State out of the timeout. Just to put a bow on the Maryland point, just moments ago, they got a huge win in 5 sets at Iowa as well. Some thought that was a must-win match for them before they go to Nebraska tomorrow. So 23-22 in set 4. And Taylor Leaf forced to check out. Allison Cathy replaces the grad transfer.
When you have somebody like Cathy stepping in for Leith, of course you hope for the best for Leith. She is standing. She seems to be struggling a little bit there on the bench, but Cathy with a big arm. We'll see if she can come through on that left pin for Penn State.
Parker, 23-all. Leith getting checked on somewhere along that right leg. Hugh McCutcheon now up off the bench.
Right, Hugh McCutcheon is arguing that Cathy was out of rotation when the ball was served. But let's take a look and see if we could at the injury. It didn't seem like there was any impact, just a little twist there. Very unusual. Taylor Leith not doing anything significant. Just weird.
And so let's go back to Hugh McCutcheon. What's the argument here?
So Cathy rotated in, and she is middle front, which means she has to be in between the two players. And he is arguing that at the point of the serve that she was to the left of the middle player right now, and that would be out of rotation.
Stephanie Samity for Minnesota.
And it's the down official's job to see that and call that. So Hugh McCutcheon angry that he missed that out of rotation.
Well, Samity will serve. She has a season-high 22 kills. Set point for Minnesota. Weiskircher, a back set to Parker, who puts it down. Who else when Penn State has needed a kill?
When the game is on the line, Johnny Parker comes through for her team. She is ready to go, starts her approach as soon as that ball is set. Wow, it's hard to defend her because she hits so many different shots. She's having a fantastic night tonight.
So we will either go to a 5th set or Minnesota will be handed its first Big Ten loss. Cathy, again, in for Taylor Leith here late in set 4. Pittman over the top.
Parker back in now to add a little bit more offense. Again, backcourt attack for her, so we'll see if she gets the set here.
It's the second set point for Minnesota, with Rollins serving. Weiskircher was tight to it, and Minnesota forces a 5th set.
Now Minnesota's comeback in the 4th set really shows what they're made of. Boy, they were down by quite a few points and just rallied back, always believing that they could do it, executing at critical times. Unbelievable display of talent by Minnesota.
Hugh McCutcheon still pleading his case after Minnesota answers back. We'll go to a 5th after this.
Showing their grit, showing that they're calm and never stressed or frazzled, even in the most difficult situations. And boy, they really want to win here tonight.
14 years ago, the last time Minnesota has won here at Rec Hall. Penn State has won the last 12 matches in this building. The last time, October of 2004. That was number 4 Penn State, number 1 Minnesota, a team that under Mike Hebert that year was the national runner-up. Taylor Leith is back out there for Penn State. She got wrapped below the right knee. Again, this was the play late in set 4, just a tweak on the right side. Hobbled off and now back in.
Yeah, it was a very odd sort of injury, just a weird weight transfer maybe, but she seems to be okay. She looked Coach Rose in the eye and said, I'm good, I can play. So here she is. We'll see what she can do in the 5th set. Her team needs her. She's out there.
Still stretching it out as we get ready for the start of set 5 in State College. Minnesota 18-0 in the Big Ten. Penn State trying to change that. Leith, the grad transfer who grew up just down the road in Port Matilda, Pennsylvania. Went to high school at State College Area High School, 7 minutes away from here at Rec Hall. Seliger Swenson serves. Reed off speed. Free ball from Rollins. Parker had to adjust. Seliger Swenson bumps it up to Hart, who can't get it over. And the first point of set 5 belongs to the Nittany Lions.
Penn State, Jenna Hampton and Allison Cathy are checking in on the Nittany Lions.
For Penn State, number 22, Allison Cathy, rotating in the front court for Taylor Leith. So we saw Cathy with that big arm. We'll see if she can come through here in the 5th set for her team.
And Jenna Hampton in to serve. Checks in for Nia Reed and goes at Rollins. Parker misses her mark, cross court toward the corner.
For the Gophers, number 20, Rollins has rotated to the front court, and that's when Parker seems to be getting a lot of her points, kind of going around Rollins. We'll see what Weiskircher does here offensively.
She sets the middle. Seliger Swenson took that swing from Serena Gray. Weiskircher right back to Gray for the kill.
Holy moly, Serena Gray. My goodness, what an attack. Huge rip. Take a look how she's up fast. Great position away from the net to allow her arm to go rip through that ball.
Gray serves. Kendall White just checked out for Penn State. And off the swing from Samity, Minnesota back even.
CC McGraw serving with the Golden Gophers, 2 serving 2.
23 digs for the All-American libero, Kendall White. Pittman has come up with some well-timed blocks late in this match.
Yeah, she certainly has. And what she does is she just stays home until the ball is set, and then she reaches. Take a look at how she reaches that time to her left. So she's really good at just watching what the hitter's doing, watching the angle of the approach, and sealing the net accordingly.
3-2 Minnesota. Parker with the tip. Samity got to it. McGraw and Seliger Swenson collided. Weiskircher tees up Parker. And again, Minnesota's blocked.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if Weiskircher adjusts at all, moving Parker around. Right now, Parker has not found success in this 5th set, hitting just a high ball to the right pin, but certainly you do want to go with Parker. She's been money all night long.
Weiskircher sets the middle to Caitlin Ward. A lot of swings going right at Seliger Swenson. Cathy, cross court, misses. The Golden Gophers faithful outnumbered, but they have seen Minnesota respond. First in set 4 and now at the outset of set 5. Hey, if you're enjoying this one, we've got more Big Ten volleyball powered by American Ethanol coming tomorrow on BTN, 8 Eastern, right here on BTN, the Fox Sports app. Penn State, Johnny Parker and company squaring off against Dana Retke and Wisconsin. Audrey Flaw, Mike Monaco with you from Rec Hall. 5-2 Minnesota to begin set 5. Weiskircher sets Parker. Rollins. Penn State handled that tip bid well. Parker stood her ground.
Johnny Parker takes a not so perfect set, does something positive with the ball, and then turns around and does something, again, positive at the net. So it's not always those big swings. She's keeping her team alive and in rallies and giving them the opportunity to get points in different ways.
And again, it's been Blossom to come in to serve for her. Third kill.
You know, when your team calls on you at a critical point, you get subbed in the game. We already talked about Leith maybe not being at 100%. Kathy rotating in the front court, and you deliver a kill. Boy, that's got to boost your confidence. We see if she can continue to do that for her team.
White tracks it down. Seliger Swenson to Samity for the kill. 24 now for the All-American.
Unbelievable numbers for that young lady. Stephanie Samity, take a look, one-on-one. Has her way with that block. What a stud.
Last year as a freshman, one of her first collegiate matches. She had 26 against Boise State, and again, 24 here tonight at Rec Hall. On the overpass, Hort was denied by Samity. Another overpass this for Minnesota. Here's Pittman for the kill. Minnesota by 3.
Pittman typically hits that cross-court shot, so as that left pin blocker, you want to take away cross-court. Let's see if she can hit line. Right now, she scored a lot going cross-court hard.
Hort on the slide for the kill.
A gutsy set by Weiskircher. You've got to have guts in tough situations. So instead of doing the easy set, she sets the tricky set. And you can see that Pittman was all the way to the left pin. So a perfect opportunity to set behind and scores a big one for her team on the hands of the set of Weiskircher.
She has 58 assists. Seliger Swenson has 60. Pittman denied.
Always helps when you got some good hang time. What a block.
Penn State was trying to get the sub in. Down 7-6. On the overpass. Back to Rollins. Here's Reed. Long. Point to Minnesota. We are midway through set 5. Minnesota is 18-0 in the Big Ten. These are the teams that have gone undefeated in Big Ten conference play. The last to do it, Penn State in 2009. Can Penn State prevent Minnesota on that path? We're back after this. And we will keep it right here instead. And why would you take a break at this point? So, Audrey, we talk about this. This is something that hasn't been done in 9 seasons. Hugh McCutcheon hasn't wanted to talk about that and what it means to potentially go 20-0. And yes, there would be another match tomorrow. But again, the resiliency of this group here.
Right, and I think what this match is going to prove to either team that wins, whatever team wins, is that, boy, we can play at a high level. We are neck and neck with the best team in the country, whether that's Penn State saying that about Minnesota or Minnesota saying that about Penn State. This is great volleyball. People having to be gutsy and make big plays at tough points in the match.
White and Weiskircher go sprawling. But they can't slow down Minnesota there. How about the hustle?
Yeah, so many positive things to be taken away from this one. Look at the hustle. Unbelievable get. They're going to make Minnesota fight for every point. Kendall White, we already talked about how fearless she is. She just lays it out on the floor, and a great communicator. See what they can do here. This is a huge, huge serve receive for Penn State.
And with Rollins, the freshman from Carrollton, Texas, serving. White. Now Nia Reed blasts off from the left side.
Nia Reed over Samantha Seliger-Swenson, a shorter block at 5'11". Nia Reed asking for the set and then delivering a bomb for her team.
Boy, how good has this one been in State College?
Yeah, you really can't ask for more than this. Back-to-back action here, going back and forth, momentum shifts, incredible defensive plays, strong swings. Look at that.
Dug by McGraw off the swing from Reed. Here's Reed again. Seliger-Swenson sets Pittman. Had to adjust. Reed rises up once more for another kill. 1 point, the margin.
Reed plays the ball, transitions, take a look, plays that ball, transitions, hits high off the blocker's hand. So really, really smart play by Nia Reed not to go low seam, but high.
White serve short for the ace serve.
Penn State has not served a lot of balls short. What a great time for the coaching staff to call for that short serve, catching Minnesota off guard.
The last 3 points, kills by Reed, and then this ace serve from Kendall White in a huge spot.
Yeah, if there's anybody you want on the service line, it's the gutsy player for Penn State, Kendall White. Tough serve to execute there, short, right on the sideline, trying to take out the left side hitter, number 19 for the Gophers, Alexis Hart. Executes that serve perfectly, gets the ace.
So with Kendall White stepping up in a big spot with some of these potent performances that we've seen tonight, the right sides, we've talked about it. Samity, 24 kills, hitting 389, and Johnny Parker with her season high, her collegiate high, 27 kills.
Yeah, well, for Samity, boy, only 3 errors for the night. For Johnny Parker, 11 errors, still hitting very well, but if you can minimize the number of errors that you have, boy, you put a lot of pressure on the opponent. Samity, what an outstanding athlete she is.
Hey, when the action ends, the big show takes over. We've got highlights from around the conference, post-game reaction, straight from the arenas, in-depth expert analysis. The big show, Mike Hall, Stephen Bardo standing by. That is coming up next right here on BTN. Had a triple header of men's basketball today, and then the dessert tonight is this excellent 5-set match in a top 10 showdown. Kill for Lexi Hart for Minnesota.
Wow. Great in-system play here. The ball goes all the way outside. Nice tempo. Look at how she elevates and takes advantage of a block that's not hip to hip, right over top of that right side blocker for Penn State.
Here's Regan Pittman. With a service error. Minnesota had cleaned that up, but that is the 11th tonight for the Gophers.
Yep, so it's a race to 5 here. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. It could really go either way statistically. Boy, you know, it really would just come down to the serve-pass game. Who's in system more often than their opponent?
Morgan from the middle for Minnesota.
In-system play for Minnesota off a great serve receive. So that's what will happen. So we'll see if Penn State can counter that with a great pass and being in system here in this next play.
Penn State in system, the back set from Weiskircher. Now the overpass and the point to the Nittany Lions.
Nia Reed subbing out, Allison Cathy coming in the front court. So you've got Parker, you've got Serena Gray, and Allison Cathy for Penn State.
And you've got Jenna Hampton in to serve. Samity tried to go line, and Penn State leads by 1.
Taylor Morgan is front row for the Gophers. She's been unstoppable. We'll see if Samantha Selger-Swenson goes with her. You can see that line shot forced a little bit, way wide.
Hampton again goes at Rollins. Propped up for Hart. Parker for the kill. Timeout, Minnesota. Penn State by 2 in set 5 at home at Rec Hall. You see 2.5 months since the last loss, one of just 2 this season, and a service error from Penn State.
Yeah, you've got to just be resilient. Forget about that play. Your job now is to get a good pass. Minnesota says thank you for that easy point. In return, they want to serve an ace.
Jasmine Martin in the front row for Minnesota. Back set to Johnny Parker for another kill. 29 of them now, and match point for Penn State.
Parker simply unstoppable tonight, having the match of her life. An All-American type of performance from her tonight. A special player this young lady is.
It's been a perfect Big Ten season to this point for Minnesota. Off the free ball. Weiskircher to the middle. Outside Parker. Kept up and put away. Penn State halts perfection.
On the shoulders of that young lady right there, Johnny Parker. A stud performance she had tonight, the game of her life against the toughest competition in the conference. Johnny Parker rose to the occasion. 29 kills for that young lady.
One more look at the final point, 3 hours into this one.
Little scramble there at the net, but ultimately overpass, easy point, and then the celebration.
Just Minnesota's third loss of the season, their first in the Big Ten, and Penn State gets the win in 5 sets. That's it.